Serious, what is illegal, but most people don't even know it? Profiting from the photographs of Eiffel Tower taken at night. Carrying a permanent marker or other permanent staining stationery is illegal in many countries under graffiti laws. One of my friends studied abroad in the UK from the US and didn't realize pepper spray is illegal there until a British student told her. Most female students at our university in the US carry it everywhere, so it didn't even occur to her it would be illegal. No clue how she got through the airport with it in the first place, but luckily she was able to dispose of it without getting in trouble. It was illegal some time ago when we went to Canada as well. My friend and I took a road trip from NC up and across the Canadian border and they confiscated our pepper spray. Didn't get in any sort of trouble. But the guys at the border just explained that yeah, we couldn't have that over there. Yes, pepper spray is illegal to carry or use on people here unless you are law enforcement. Conversely, bear mace is legal to own. But if you're caught carrying it on your person in the middle of a large city, the cops will confiscate it and may fine you unless you have a good reason. Insulting the king of Thailand. I have a couple of friends who moved to the US from Thailand. They tell me that instead of insulting the current king, people there just talk about how great the last king was the current king's father in a sort of tongue-in-cheek way. The Salmon Act 1986 is an act of parliament which outlines the difference between legal and illegal salmon fishery, among other things. The act also makes it illegal to handle salmon in suspicious circumstances. Under a 1940s anti-poaching law, not only is possessing or selling a bald eagle illegal, possessing any part of a bald eagle, including their feathers, is illegal. Find a bald eagle feather while hiking. Technically, picking that thing up and sticking it in your pocket means a $250,000 fine. Editors has been pointed out to me repeatedly, if you belong to a Native American tribe that is enrolled in a federal program that exempts you from the above, you are exempt from the above. In the US, giving any federal employee, especially postal workers, any gift in an amount over 20 each and no greater than 50 in a year. I believe the government wanted to try to ban any gifts, but people were so attached to their postal workers and wanted to give them something, so they did relent with those strict guidelines above. In my country, suicide is considered a felony. It's to allow first responders more ways to act. Like sewer policy, officer can kick down a door or hospitals can force a short period of observation on a suicidal person. Never any jail time involved. Having a lobster of a certain size in your possession. Apparently changing lanes in the middle of an intersection is one that's unknown in my area. In Texas, there is still a law on the books that it is a crime to carry bolt cutters around. It is a leftover from the days of cattle rustlers, when the bad guys would use bolt cutters to take down barbed wire fencing. Pretty sure it hasn't been prosecuted in 100 years. You can go to Lowe's and buy weed killer off the shelf and use it on your property. You can use it on your parents' property. If you use it on your neighbor's property and he gives you 20, that's a felony. Treating according to label instructions for friends and family without compensation does not qualify as a business activity most places. If you do this and receive compensation, then you're conducting business, and under the law you should have a commercial applicator's license. This is mostly an example of a badly written law that is too open-ended. I don't know anyone who has got in any real legal trouble over an unlicensed jug of Roundup, but they could. In Oklahoma, it's illegal to make an ugly face at a dog. Driving consistently slower than the speed limit, without legitimate reason to do so, like road conditions or a vehicle problem. In fact, in some states, it is more points on your license than speeding. It's in the top 3 causes of fatal traffic accidents last I checked. That's why where I live, if you're in the left lane, that is fast lane, or passing lane, and someone tailgates you, or passes on your right, you will get a ticket for impeding the flow of traffic. And that's true, even if you're doing the speed limit and the person tailgating you was going 15 over. An alternate reasoning other than it being incredibly dangerous for you and other drivers to impede the flow of traffic is that the person speeding could be on their way to the hospital with a life or death emergency while on the phone with 911, and you're preventing them from seeking help. It's one of my favorite traffic laws. Stay out of the passing lane if people are gaining on you, or in general, if you're a slow driver. In the state of Illinois, you may not have more than 75 salamanders on your person. Yesterday I learned that riding a bike while drunk is just as illegal as drunk driving, just not regularly enforced. In Florida it's illegal to tie an alligator to a parking meter unless you pay for parking. Apparently hunting whales with a harpoon from your airplane in Arkansas, this is legit. In my home state of Tennessee, it's illegal to use a lasso to catch fish. Laws like that always make me want to find out the backstory of what dumb shit happened to get that on the books. California law stating that it is illegal to wash your neighbor's car without their permission. Also, in San Fran and Long Beach here you cannot store anything other than an automobile in your garage. In my California city, it was illegal to wash your own car outside of legal car washing businesses. Tickling someone without their consent is a form of assault, but yeah, battery, actually, in many places. The difference being battery is physical, while assault doesn't have to be, can be verbal or intimidation. Would suck to be that guy in prison. What are you in for? Battery, did you at least teach them a lesson? Sure. They peed their pants, I guess. I actually had an extremely similar conversation with an officer. I was arrested at 14 for slapping one slap another kid who called me a bitch and threatened my brother. So you at least got him good, right? Well, no. Well, you punched him, right? I slapped him across the cheek. They arrested you for that. The kid who was threatening to hurt my littlest brother, which is why I stepped in, got no punishment. I sat in jail for a few hours until my parents came to get me. They were also going to press charges and make me pay restitution for a slap at age 14. That only happened because this little boy was threatening to beat the shit out of my little brother. I asked him to back off and he got in my face and said, "What you gonna do about it, bitch?" So he got slapped. I don't know, I feel like I was in the right on that one. Walking down the street with an ice cream cone in your back pocket in the Commonwealth of Kentucky. Apparently, there was a law that if a horse was on your property, you could claim it as your own. In comes the ice cream cone as a lure for the horse as you lead them to your property. Importing kinda surprise eggs to the US from your trip abroad. You won't go to jail. But if you are unlucky and the customs agent is not very lenient, you can face a fine for every egg you tried to smuggle in. According to some sources, the fine per egg could go up to $2,500, but I couldn't find a case where someone was actually fined that much. The most I could find in my 5-minute research was a Canadian woman who got fined 300 Canadian for trying to bring in one egg. I guess in most cases a customs agent will just confiscate the eggs and give you a warning. In my state court it's illegal to sell pickles that don't bounce. Illegal to throw condoms from parade floats in Louisiana, although it's not heavily enforced, lol. Also illegal to have reptiles less than 200 yards from a parade in Louisiana. In many states in the US, having sex in any position but missionary is illegal. Edit yes. Many sex laws were deemed unconstitutional back in 2005. However, many states' legislatures don't remove them from the books, so there's still statutes in the codes. Heck, here in Virginia, unmarried sex is still technically illegal. $250 fine. Not enforced. Still illegal. Technically. Also in Virginia, taxi drivers are not allowed to knowingly take you to a location to have premarital sex. In NC as missionary only, and your shades must be drawn. In Minnesota, a man can't duck a live fish. Not sure if he can duck a dead one, or if a woman is allowed to duck a live fish. In Nevada there's an old law still on the books, where a property owner may hang an individual who shoots a dog on their property. Also, you can't take your camel out on state highways. In Alaska it's illegal to whisper in someone's ear while they deer hunt. Chico, CA. It's a $500 fine to make or have a nuclear weapon within city limits. No person shall produce, test, maintain, or store within the city a nuclear weapon. Component of a nuclear weapon. Nuclear weapon delivery system. or component of a nuclear weapon delivery system under penalty of Chapter 9.60.030 of the Chicago Municipal Code. If you live in London, you're not allowed to shake the dust off your rug outside your house after 8 in the morning. Maybe not that related to the subject, but a fun fact: in Belgium you get fined less for masturbating in public than pissing in public. Contrary to popular belief, it's not legal to distill alcohol for personal use. Without a license it's illegal, period. Including freeze distillation, which is extremely dumb, but so is the ATF. The only legal production of home use alcohol is beer and wine, and it varies by state. In NH I can make mead, but there is a limit. I can only make 100 gallons a year for personal use. Unless I have someone helping me, I can make 200 gallons. I think a large part of that is the variability in alcohol content for meads. There was a guy in my group of medieval recreation ists who do work trades with other members. I made him a set of battle mittens gauntlets for a couple of bottles of show mead. He didn't warn me about that particular batch being close to brandy levels of alcohol content, and the residual sweetness from the honey masked the taste of ethanol. Still, 10 would make that trade again. Thanks for watching. Consider subscribing for more videos.